NASCAR Heat 4 is the fourth installment in the NASCAR Heat series from 704 games from NASCAR Heat Evolution and NASCAR Heat 2, 3, and 4. NASCAR Heat 4 represents the 2019 NASCAR season. It has all three official NASCAR series and the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series. And this is also the second year where it has a fictional dirt series, and now it has the addition of Tony Stewart being one of the dirt drivers. For those of you that know me and know my channel, I'm a big fan of the NASCAR games. I've played them all from since I was a little kid. I've played, the most popular one, which is NR 2003, to the most popular console games like NASCAR Thunder 2003 and 2004, Chase for the Cup in 2005, NASCAR 09, which had the best online racing out of any NASCAR game ever made, NASCAR The Game Inside Line in 2013, which had some decent online racing, and it had really good physics and really good tire wear and being able to use these long runs and race really hard, so that was a solid game. But since NASCAR Inside Line, there has not been a great NASCAR game. NASCAR Heat Evolution, I still stand by, was the worst game I've ever played in terms of NASCAR gaming. Heat 2 improved from that, Heat 3 improved from Heat 2, and Heat 4 is an improvement from Heat 3. And the improvements in NASCAR Heat 4 are not massive box features like a paint booth or a massive change in career mode, but it's mostly in terms of the graphics and the physics, which, to be fair, have been two of the biggest issues with NASCAR Heat, especially the physics, which I have been on them for years now, that the physics have to improve. So the biggest change in NASCAR Heat 4 really are the physics. The cars drive much different than they have in previous titles. They are heavier now. There's a slide to them. As your tires wear, there's a lot more having to drive the car, and you have to really be wary of what you're abusing. Are you abusing your right front tire? Are you abusing the right rear tire? And how does that play into the setup of the car? The game has also given you a ton of options to play how you want it to play. If you don't want to go through that sliding mechanic, you can put your car to have more grip so it doesn't slide as much and your tires don't wear as much. You can adjust if the AI are compressed or spread out. If you want an older style package, you can spread them out. If you want pack racing, you can make them really narrow and get them to be in a pack. The ping pong effects of previous games where you had no control once you would make contact and the physics were completely broken when racing against the AI and other players are now gone. You can make a lot more contact, and the actual contact that is made to actually wreck someone is a lot more realistic. There is still a little bit of a problem of the AI wrecking you. Technically, the AI cannot really spin you out. It doesn't really affect like that, but you can now basically spin out the AI drivers. And the physics are not broken. If you get hit in the right rear quarter panel, you are not spinning out to the left somehow and bouncing off of cars. It does not work like that anymore. This by far is one of the biggest improvements in NASCAR 4, along with the graphics. For the first time, I feel like NASCAR Heat 4 belongs on the next-gen console, which is not going to be next-gen anymore starting next year, but the game looks really good now. I still don't think it is up to par with a lot of other racing games in the market, like Forza, like F1 2019, but this big step in graphics is a step forward, and with the new consoles coming in next year at the end of the year, and also that this is a PC port as well, hopefully they can continue to improve on the graphics. A lot of time and money was spent into these two areas, physics and graphics, and that is why I feel like the rest of the game is just focused on these minor little details that make a massive difference in terms of how you play the game. The AI have improved, where now they are running multiple lines, and there is a legit difference in what you can see from AI drivers. If, for example, Denny Hamlin is running the top at Las Vegas, he does get a good run coming off of the corner, and he can make up time running the top lane. All the tracks in NASCAR Heat 4 have been reworked. They all look differently, and most of them drive differently, especially Bristol, where Bristol now drives like Bristol. You can run the top, you can run the bottom, and depending on the setup that you use, the top can be faster than the bottom, or the bottom can be faster than the top. I think Bristol probably is one of the best tracks on the game, where in NASCAR Heat 3 it was the worst track in the game. But now Bristol is a ton of fun, both online and offline. I feel like a lot of fans and a lot of players can have a lot of fun racing there. Other tracks have seen improvements as well, like Auto Club. However, there are some tracks that still have not really improved, and that would be for a track like Atlanta, where you can still go full throttle, and it just does not drive like Atlanta at all. Atlanta is the one outlier though, because other mile and a halves that might be a little bit worn down like Chicagoland do drive like Chicagoland with the new 2019 Aero package. And that is something important to mention, that the 2019 Aero package is represented pretty well in this game. The way you have to drive the car and how much you have to be in the throttle actually does play into 704 games and NASCAR Heat's 4 advantage, because previously in NASCAR Heat games, the complaint was too much on-throttle time. Well, NASCAR in real life have now increased the on-throttle time, so 704 games can really get a good representation of how the car drives in NASCAR Heat 4. And it does drive well. There is still times where you have to lift, but you don't have to lift too much, and the car does drive overall a lot better. These are where the massive improvements are for NASCAR Heat 4. The graphics, the physics, and minor little details within the game that you really have to play to feel and see them. It does change how the game plays, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable and fun experience. However, due to this, there was a sacrifice made with 704 Games not being a massive company with only about 20 to 30 employees being able to work on the game, unlike EA Sports or Codemasters that have hundreds of employees to be able to work on their games. The game modes do not see much of a change. Starting with online, there have been a few changes to online multiplayer. One that is really important is the host being able to control the time clock so people can come into the lobby and the host has control of when to start the race. This was a massive feature that's been missing in previous NASCAR Heat games and was really needed for this one. However, fans demanding for practice and qualifying sessions was not able to get in to the online game modes yet. The whole goal here is to make online to be very similar to NASCAR 9, because that was the money spot where drivers can enter a lobby, enter a practice session, and the host had the ability of when to start qualifying and when to start the race. 704 Games has taken one step in this direction with the host now being able to control when to start the race, but they still need to improve with implementing practice and qualifying sessions. That would really help out people who want to run leagues and have a lot of fun within the community. It would help them out massively. However, online racing in general is much better than last year due to the physics and the graphics change. Racing at Daytona is a lot more fun this year in NASCAR Heat 4 because of the physics. 704 Games and NASCAR Heat have always had pretty stable servers where lag is not really that bad at all. So now with the new physics, you're able to really push, run 3 wide, and have a lot of fun at play tracks. This also goes for the mile and a halves and the short tracks as well, mainly because the physics are improved. You no longer have to worry about bouncing off of other online drivers. This makes league racing much more a possibility on NASCAR Heat and can be a lot more fun. The general consensus still is when you enter a NASCAR Heat public lobby, you are racing with people that you do not know of, and the races can be very crazy and hectic sometimes. It still does not have matchmaking or grief protection or single mode for leagues, and it still doesn't have practice and qualifying sessions, but online multiplayer still is where a lot of fun can be made for the game. Now we enter some of the negatives of NASCAR Heat 4, and this is part of career mode. Career mode took a massive step up from NASCAR Heat 2 to NASCAR Heat 3, implementing an owner mode, a driver mode, and implementing just a lot more deeper features in career mode. This year, career mode has taken a back seat for, like I said, the physics and the graphics and the gameplay itself, but career mode has taken a back seat and it is very similar to last year. The biggest change is that you can start in any series, which is a massive plus and shows that 704 Games wanted to give the player options in all areas, including how you drive, how the AI drive, your stability, the driving aids, and in career mode, not having to start at the bottom. You can go straight to the Cup Series if you want. You can go straight to owning a team if you want. You could skip the hot seat offers if you want, but if you want to run a career mode from bottom to top, Dirt to Daytona style, you can still do that by starting in the Dirt Series. You can upgrade your pit crew in career mode now, but other than that, there's just not many changes in career mode at all that are worth mentioning. The friends and rivalry system is still very much the same. The only difference here is that friends will now be a draft partner to you in career mode, where in the actual game, in this quick race mode, you can have draft mode enabled. In career mode, you cannot have that enabled. You have to make friends and then be able to enable apps so they will be able to push you. However, the rival system is still the same, and most of career mode in general is still the same. The money still just stacks up. There is no expense that you really have in career mode. One of the changes in career mode in terms of spending your money in your cars is a clean race bonus. However, this does not save you money, it just saves you how much your own car goes down in terms of rating after a race. For example, in Heat 3, after every race, your car would reset to 70 overall, from engine to suspension to aero. This clean race bonus can make your engine go down to 75 instead of 70. That is the only difference. So with the game's biggest and most played mode, and the mode that many NASCAR fans enjoy, for it to not be changed really at all is very disappointing and a big minus on NASCAR Heat 4. Another area where the game needs to improve is customization. You can customize your driver pretty well. You can customize their fire suit, you can customize a hat, you can customize the sponsors that they wear, and the customization for the driver is pretty good. You can now run custom numbers, which is something that the fans have really asked for. So you can run any number from the 00 to 99 in 3 different fonts. However, that is as far as the customization goes, and like I've been saying, with the focus being on physics and graphics, customization has taken a back seat as well, and this is still one area of the game that is much needed to be improved. The 2 dreaded words that keep flying around from the community is a paint booth, and I think now with 4 years of development heading into the 5th year of development with NASCAR Heat 5, I feel like the impatience is starting to become credited, and a paint booth really is needed very soon for the community. Because in any racing game, the ability to share paint schemes is a massive feature. It builds the community in all racing games, as you can see from Forza, as you can see from NASCAR 9, and a lot of players will take great joy in being able to really customize the car the way they want it, make real life paint schemes if they would please, and this will be one of the main features asked for and demanded for in the next game. The rest of the game is very similar to NASCAR 3 in terms of challenges, in terms of championship mode. Not much has been changed here. In championship seasons, there are fantasy schedules now. For example, if you want to run the 2020 playoffs, you can do that with the 2020 playoff schedule. My only request here is being able to actually make a custom schedule. I feel like if you can make a preset schedule with the 2020 schedule or with the all plate tracks, then you should be allowed to run a 36 race season, but you can choose what track you want to be and where you want to be at what time of the season. Heading back to the main gameplay, the sound of the cars is really good. They've been completely overdone. There is now a wall reverb, so as you get closer to the wall, it actually reverbs back off of it. A very good realistic sound, and it is really done well. For now, there are some sound glitches as players head on later into races. If you run a 25% race, there are some sound glitches that need to be fixed. However, the sound is very good in NASCAR 8-4. Again, another feature that was completely overhauled along with the physics and the graphics, and it really sounds great when racing. NASCAR 8-4 overall is a much more replayable game. You can hop onto a console or PC, race with your friends, race online, race in career mode, and the replayable factor is much higher due to the enjoyment of the physics and the graphics being improved. However, with little to no changes in the game's main game modes, it is very disappointing there. But the overall game itself, which gives the longevity of the game what it needs, is really good. There is still no testing session in NASCAR 8-4, a feature that a lot of fans has asked for, where you could just go to any track and run by yourself. Unfortunately, that is still not in the game and should be in the game for NASCAR 8-5. Hopefully, again, is one of the top features that really should make it in when you are in your 5th year of development. If you are looking for something similar to iRacing, you will not get that from NASCAR 8-4 because that is not what NASCAR Heat is trying to be. iRacing will not be matched on consoles by any racing game because iRacing is a pure simulator, and the physics from that game cannot be transferred over to console at the moment with the technology that is presented. However, if you are looking for one of those fun NASCAR console games that bring you back to the days of NASCAR Thunder or NASCAR 9 or NASCAR Inside Line, NASCAR 8-4 can be for you. You can have a lot of fun with friends online, you can have a lot of fun with yourself. Racing the AI is a ton of fun as well. Overall, you can describe NASCAR 8-4 in one word. It is fun. It is a fun game, and that is what you need from a NASCAR console game. You do not need a pure simulator because iRacing already is that. And for fans that want that pure simulator feeling, you have to fork up the money on iRacing, get your gaming PC, get your steering wheel, get your pedals, and go out there and try your best against some of the world's best sim racers. And when you come to consoles, you have just a lot more fun. You can run a league now very well on NASCAR 8-4, you can have fun with your friends, you can have fun racing, and that is the most important part of NASCAR console gaming. You can make it more of a sim if you'd like with certain settings, or you can make it more of a casual arcade mode if you'd like with certain settings. The player has the option to play the game how they feel free to, and that is very important. Overall, for $50, if you are a NASCAR fan and you like NASCAR games and you want to have fun, NASCAR 8-4 is a good game, and it is worth your time and money, and I would recommend going to purchase it. If you're looking for a hardcore simulator where everything is super realistic and the physics are right on point and everything is just absolute sim, you still might not be fully satisfied with NASCAR 8-4, but you will recognize the improvements. If you do purchase a physical copy of NASCAR 8-4, the $50 ticket voucher for SMI Speedway tracks and Pocono, Dover, and Indianapolis, I think it is still involved. So you get a $50 ticket voucher for a $50 video game. So if you're still going to go to an SMI track like Bristol, Atlanta, Kentucky, Charlotte, Las Vegas, if you're going to go to one of those races in real life, might as well just get the game. Ranking NASCAR 8-4 on a 1 to 10 scale, I would have to give it a 7. It is a good game that still needs improvements, and hopefully NASCAR 8-5 can deliver with some of these features that are much needed in NASCAR console gaming. If you guys liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you guys can smash that like button. Comment down below, let me know what you think of NASCAR 8-4. Let me know if you're going to purchase the game, and let me know if you give it a 1 out of 10 rating, what would you rate it? Would you rate it a 7 like me? Would you rate it a 9 because you find it really enjoyable and really good? Or would you rate it a little bit lower because there are features that have not been implemented that you would like? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you are not already. It is at RealRadman. Links are in the description below. I will see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Enjoy yourselves. and peace out.
I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change, even if I tried. My love, she keeps me warm.